welcome to the Sunday morning service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lake Norman. We are a liberal and open faith community. We welcome everyone, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, economic status, or ability. We seek our truth in many different ways, but we are wholly committed to our belief in the dignity and worth of the individual. And we hope to express in whatever way we can our faith in acts of kindness, generosity, and support for those who seek freedom. Now, I would like to introduce our chalice. This is a candle that lights our way on our way to truth. We hope to be just, and in being just, we hope to be loving. In loving, we will find our peace.
The falling leaves drift by my window. The falling leaves of red and gold. I see your kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall, most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall, I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to
Today, our Reverend Pat Jobe will be speaking to us about freedom. And he'd like us to watch a short video of about 4 minutes from the movie Amistad. That movie represents the historical fight for freedom that ended after a rebellion in a significant legal court action. So here we have Pat Jobe. After he speaks to us, we're going to have a little musical interlude with our wonderful musician, Mike Alik. And after that, I will see you in a little while. Bye.
Now listen, Sinke. Listen, we're about to bring your case before the highest court in our land. We're about to do battle with a lion that is threatening to rip our country in two. Huh? And all we have on our side is a rock. Of course, you didn't ask to be at the center of this historic conflagration any more than I did, but we find ourselves here nonetheless by some mysterious mix of circumstances and all the world watching. So, what are we to do? Huh?
We won't be going in there alone.
Alone? Indeed not. No, we have right at our side. We have righteousness at our side.
I meant my ancestors. I will call into the past, far back to the beginning of time, and beg them to come and help me at the judgment. I will reach back and draw them into me, and they must come. For at this moment, I am the whole reason they have existed at all.
What are we to do with that embarrassing, annoying document? The Declaration of Independence. What of its conceits? All men created equal, inalienable rights, life, liberty, and so on and so forth. The other night I was talking with my friend Sinke. He was over at my place and we were out in the greenhouse together. And he was explaining to me how when a member of the Mende, that's his people, how when a member of the Mende encounters a situation where there appears no hope at all, he invokes his ancestors. Tradition. See, the Mende believe that if one can summon the spirit of one's ancestors, then they have never left. And the wisdom and strength they fathered and inspired will come to his aid. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, John Adams. We have long resisted asking you for guidance. Perhaps we have feared in doing so, you might acknowledge that our individuality, which we so revere, is not entirely our own. Perhaps we have feared an appeal to you might be taken for weakness. But we have come to understand, finally, that this is not so. We understand now. We've been made to understand and to embrace the understanding that who we are is who we were.
In the movie Amistad, we are shown a slave rebellion that takes place on a ship in 1839. The ship was captured by a U.S. revenue cutter, and the rebellious slaves were taken into custody. These are the facts, or at least some of them. But you were shown that scene where Cinque speaks to John Quincy Adams, and the scene that follows with Adams before the Supreme Court, in order that you might feel some of the emotions of being connected to our ancestors. Both men of the Adams lineage, our second president and his son, our sixth president, were New England Congregationalists, a religious group out of which grew Unitarianism. We have also claimed another president, Thomas Jefferson, although his view of Christianity and that of John Adams were as different as night and day. Adams was practically a Puritan, and Jefferson was mostly a self-indulgent hedonist. But all three of these men, along with others mentioned in the film, Franklin, Madison, and Washington, they are all our philosophical and historical ancestors. And there may be moments in each of our lives that we will be the only reason they have ever existed at all. Imagine that. Imagine that all their sacrifices, all the wars they fought, all the crops they brought in, all the houses they built and diseases they survived, every pain they ever felt, especially every labor pain, all that happened so that you might exist at all. Maybe not for you, but for me, it was a radicalizing, energizing, staggering movie moment. All that happened over the last 1,000 years, or 10,000 years, or 100,000 years to bring me and you to life. Happened so that I might exist at all in this moment. Don't you love it when Cinque said, I will reach back to the beginning of time, and they have to come. They have to come. They have to come because in this moment, I am the only reason they ever existed at all. Doesn't it shed new light on the chores of the day, on our to-do lists, on the ways we connect to the people in our lives? Now, granted, Cinque and John Quincy Adams were dealing with a particularly dramatic moment in their lives. And we might be reluctant to add such drama to every cup of coffee we drink, every phone call, every dime spent, every email sent, every thought, every sermon delivered or heard. But isn't it something? I will reach back to the beginning of time, and they have to come. It puts what we normally think of as ordinary day-to-day existence in a whole new light. I'm not sure I have quite lived up to their expectations. I'm not sure I have met their standards. At least two of my ancestors were ministers who preached the beloved community. Have I done enough to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the sick and imprisoned, and make peace? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could have done a little more, responded at least a few times with more love and less anger. If I call them and they come, will they be pleased with the steps I have taken, the kindnesses and generosities of my life? I'm pretty sure they would be disappointed at a point or two. And now listen again to Anthony Hopkins in his role as John Quincy Adams as he reads off that list of national heroes. James Madison, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, even his own father, John Adams. If we dare to call them in, if we dare ask for their help, what in the world would they think of our farce of national politics today? Would they look around and hurry back to their otherworldly homes, discouraged, even dismayed at what they find in the here and now? Or would they ask us to step up our game, to give more, to do more, to be more involved in the politics and social action of our time, so that we might show some evidence of the kindness and generosity we know is essential to building a more and more beloved community? Of course, I cannot answer these questions, and maybe you are getting tired of my asking them. Do you hope my sermons would be a little more entertaining and a little less advocating action on your parts? I've told you before, and will tell you again, about the woman who challenged me after one of my sermons. She said, "You make us feel like we should be out on protest lines, feeding the homeless, getting arrested in acts of civil disobedience. What you don't seem to realize is that many of us are already doing all we can do." So even as I call in my own ancestors to help me do better, let me assure all of you that I know many of you are already doing all you can. You don't need to be poked and prodded to get out and do more. And please, please, please don't feel guilty. My begging for the beloved community is not intended to make anybody feel guilty. Guilt is often a substitute for action. A running joke I've heard is that I may not be doing much to make the world a better place, but at least I have the decency to feel guilty about it. No, no, no. Please don't go there. So let me leave you with a very simple truth that I believe Cinque and John Quincy Adams brought us through that movie. We are the children of extraordinary ancestors. They did survive wars, famines, pandemics, and other rough circumstances long enough to have babies who grew up to have babies who grew up to have babies. They may not have all been signers of the Declaration of Independence, but they got us here for the living of this moment. Maybe our best response is a little amazement, a little gratitude, a little determination to drink deeply of the extraordinary facts that in this moment, we are the only reason they ever existed at all. And when we face crisis, when accidents and bad news from the doctor come, when family ties begin to strain, maybe we can reach back and call on them, and they will come. Maybe we can reach back to the beginning of time and call on them, and they will come, because in this moment, we are the only reason they ever existed at all. I hope this leaves you with the smallest taste of what I experienced watching that scene. I hope you might go back and watch part of that part of the service again, and maybe share it with friends. I'm always asking you to share with friends. All of our ancestors did what they did when they did for myriad reasons. But now we're all that's left of them. If we go out with servant hearts to make the world a better place, it will be a tribute to them. If we don't, perhaps they will not be too rough in challenging us to do more. Bear Bryant used to tell his players, if you can't go out there and win a football game for yourselves, do it for your mama and daddy. May we live together without guilt and simply do all we can. And when things get rough enough, may we reach back to the beginning of time and call them all in and ask them to help us. And may they come. And may they come.
Greetings, everyone. This is a Bob Marley song. Hopefully put a smile on your face. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile at the rising sun. 3 little birds flew by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies sure and true, singing, this is my message for you. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile at the rising sun. 3 little birds flew by my window, singing sweet songs, melodies sure and true, singing, this is my message for you. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that speech and that little clip from Amistad. If you haven't seen it before, I'm sure you'd enjoy the entire movie. It's quite moving. And thank you, Mike, for the music, and Pat Jobe for your interesting and committed expression of our beliefs. Now, if you found it interesting or worth pursuing, we'd love to have you look into our membership. And we have 2 people, one transitioning back into being our membership coordinator. In the meantime, you can reach Linda Heidenberg. You'll see her name at the bottom of the screen. And soon, Marge will be coming back to us, and she'll be taking over those duties. So Marjorie Flowers, we welcome you back, and we wish you the best of health. And I'd just like to wish you peace and a wonderful day, and may you go in peace, and I hope to see you again. Bye.